Well, this time we received Corey Thompson for another talk. Yes, you may not know, or no, I don't know the name at first, but Corey Thompson is behind so many great projects above board TV, the Star Dish, and he's part of the Board Games Insider, and he's part of the publisher Play to Z, and he was at on the Dice Tower News, and so many things that he does, and we talk about so many things. He's a real ambassador of board games. I really, really wanted to have him here on the show, and we talked about so many things that I really, really hope you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it as much as I did. So don't forget to follow his website, his new website, coreyisboard.com. Corey Thompson, my friends, right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Curious Box. I'm Pedro Kerouac, and I'm here today for another one of those great talks here at the Curious Box. It's the other side of board games, where I invite a personality of the board game world, and we talk, we discuss the board games from the inside and from the outside. And today we have Corey Thompson. He does everything. I can't describe him. He will need to describe himself because he's everywhere all the time, and he does everything you can imagine on board games. I met him in Leiria. I know him mostly from the Board Games Insider podcast, where he shares the stage with Ignacy Cevicek, who has been here at the channel, and
Yeah.
Stephen Bonacor, who has always also been here when we were in Essen. Corey, welcome.
Hey, thanks so much. And I think too many times I'm described as a personality. It's a polite way of saying, this is a crazy person that we don't know what he does. And I think that's the best description. I show up at a lot of conventions and people tend to point and say, that's Corey. We don't know exactly what he does, but we think he might be important.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, well, first time I heard your name was at the Dice Tower News.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
I
was.
I Yeah, I did the Dice Tower News podcast for about 3 years.
Yeah,
And altogether, I think for close to 10 years, I did news for the Dice Tower, both written and podcast, and giving scripts to the guys for the video news segments. It was really fun. I've always been really interested in the news and what's going on inside board games and everything like that. And I think that was actually my first real job in board games. Is I met Tom and the gang on a Dice Tower cruise in 2015, 2016, somewhere around there, and I asked if I could help with the news. So that started the professional side off.
awesome. And then you left the news, and it matched more or less the time when you started on the Board Games Insider podcast,
It was
correct?
very close. So there were a lot of news outlets in Dice Tower, and we all did our own thing, and it was kind of tough to figure out who was doing what. So I was doing the Dice Tower News had turned into Dice Tower Now
Yeah.
podcast, and it was a lot of work. I was putting out news weekly. I don't think I ever missed a week in 3 years. And I wrote all the scripts. I read it off of script. I did all the editing. Um, it just got to be a lot. So I announced that I was done with it and closed it up. And after that, Steven contacted me and asked if I'd be interested in being a third person on Board Game Insider, which had already been going for close to 10 years.
Yeah.
And I told him that I was fine doing it as long as it took no work whatsoever. If I could just show up for the podcast and just talk about whatever I wanted. Uh, and it's been great. It's really fun. It's a looser view of just the industry side of the news. So I don't worry so much about new releases and new designs and Kickstarter projects and things like that. Just big things happening within the industry, acquisitions or hirings or new people working or things like that. So I guess I've been doing that for 3 years now. Recently, I recorded an episode of Board Game Insider where I had figured out I had done exactly as many Board Game Insider as I had done Dice Tower podcast. So
Wow.
now I've done more.
Yeah. But you are still the intern.
I know I'm still the intern, and that's fine. That's fine. But you know who's the one who fixes everything anytime there's a problem? It's the intern.
That is true. That is true. Okay. Some things I mentioned I missed on the presentation. You have or you are part of a YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I own a
Called
film.
Both Bar TV? TV?
Yes, Above Board TV.
Okay. What can you tell us about that?
So, Above Board is a film studio in Los Angeles, and we have a great group of people, and we do YouTube videos outside of the studio and inside, and we rent the studio to other parts of Hollywood. It's a high-tech studio with virtual sets and robotic controlled cameras and strange green screens, a lot of technology. But I think we were best known for we did a bunch of videos of extreme board gaming. So we played board games on the deck of a sunken ship with sharks circling all around us. We played board games on a live volcano in Iceland. And the one that I liked the most is we played apiary while completely covered in honeybees. So
Wow.
I had a contact at UC Davis who was an expert on bees, and we covered ourselves in bees and played a board game. So we did a series of those. So it's Above Board TV on YouTube. It's myself and my partner Travis Oates own that studio. Recently, I don't know if you saw the new set of commercials for Dungeons and Dragons. There were three new commercials that came out. Oh, has to be about 4 months ago. And we did all those for Wizards of the Coast. They're really, really pretty. So that's some of the outside stuff we do, licensing the studio to other people. But yep.
Really, really, really nice. I saw some of those videos which you mentioned now, and wow,
They're
it's
really fun.
amazing.
We had a very good time with it.
I was like the first time you mentioned something like that on the Insider podcast. I was like, no, this can't be real. They are just teasing each other.
No, it's real.
And then I realized it was real, and I was like, wow, it's such a nice game, a nice way. Of course, it can be done by the common people, but it's just a nice way to promote board games in a different way, in a funny way, and yeah, it was great. I love them,
Uh,
really love them.
we have a really crazy group of actors who had a really good time with it. So it was very fun.
Well, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. And just to finish this part of the presentation, of course, I couldn't miss to mention that if you haven't known, especially the Portuguese guys, Corey Thompson is the long lost brother of our beloved João Jota from the channel Met na Mesa, who also runs some interviews with people from board games, and he's one of my favorite game partners. An amazing, amazing guy.
I
And you know, You all know
I had
him.
such a good dinner with him. We just talked and talked, and so many people walked by and looked at me and looked at him, looked at me. Yeah, we definitely are long lost brothers.
And now you're sharing some recipes. I heard.
Well, I'm still waiting. I loved all the every time I would get food or a dessert or a classic dish, I would get it. This is so good. And he would say, "No, no, 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 no. I have a better recipe. I'll send you a better recipe." So I will
Yeah,
make them. I'm waiting for the recipes. I
yeah,
want to
because
make my own Portuguese salami. I want to make my own orange roll. I want all of that. I loved it.
homemade recipes are always better.
Ah,
Always.
absolutely.
99% of times they are better than restaurants and so forth.
Yes.
Especially, and I believe João is going to tell you the same. Especially the ones from our moms and from our grandmoms.
Yes. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
so now that the presentations are done, uh, and I think we'll be back on some of these topics later in the conversation. I'm going to ask you um, because I'm curious. I'm really curious. Generally, I put this question because I always like to know a little bit of background and how people became who
Oh,
they are
sure.
today. And I want to know, how did you discover board games? I mean, probably in childhood playing
Wow.
Monopoly and Risk and
I
Clue.
No, it was weirder than that. I always liked board games. And my parents played a few board games with me, and actually the biggest one was usually Rummy Cube. I loved Rummy Cube. And we had a couple others that I don't think moved across to Europe, like Aggravation, Careers, Bonkers. These are things when I was very young. But then I discovered Dungeons and Dragons when I was probably 12 years old or so. This is when it was new. And I loved the books. I read them. I played Dungeons and Dragons when I could. And then I started looking for board games that gave that same feeling. And I discovered specialty board game stores. This is probably in 1977 or 78, long time ago. And I found Talisman, which was a board game, it came out in early 80s, and Dungeon, which actually came from TSR and was a D&D board game, and absolutely loved them. And I just never let go. I always was looking for the strange store with the strange games where I could find these new fixes. So I've always liked board games. My father is very involved in professional chess,
Oh,
and
really?
he tried to get me to play chess, and I always wanted to play other games. But we would play games, and he would listen.
Chess, not only chess, but chess made me realize I'm so bad at programming games. Like, yeah, programming actions in games. I really like those games. Not chess so much, but I don't know, so many
Yep.
others. And I'm not good. But I try, and I will get better
Yeah.
eventually.
Well, I'll tell you a few facts that you might not know. Uh, so my father was a computer programmer, and was the world computer chess champion in 1980s.
Oh, wow.
The championship was in Iceland, and grandmaster chess players would come to the house to visit and became friends. So, Gary Kasparov would come over, and uh, Anand would come over, and um, my dad got very involved and actually
Uh-huh.
worked. on the modifications to the Edo scoring system for FIDE and for the organizations. So I got to meet a lot of very nice chess players.
Oh, wow. Very nice. And what, I mean, what were you doing professionally before? I mean, what is your background, your studies background?
Oh, I've done so many different things. Uh, I went to first I wanted to go to school forever. So I just kept going to school and I became a researcher in neurobiology at Yale and hated it. So then I stopped doing that and I became a veterinarian. And I was a veterinarian for about 15 years. And then I started getting more involved in the business of board games, and so I do that. But I've had little side jobs also, little jobs over the years. Professional student, I would take notes for other people and sell my notes for classes and for studies. I wrote some articles for magazines on computer games and on board games, um, little things like that. So,
That's really, really nice. So, yeah, wow. And how did you become more involved with games? Or how did that happen? It was naturally, or suddenly was there a time?
uh,
Because I see that
it
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 happens a lot.
naturally happened. I started going to more and more conventions and meeting more and more people who were designers or owners or publishers. And I started helping out a publisher here. I would lend some money so that a print run could be made, or I would do play testing and help comment on design, or I'd work with developers, and that kept growing. So now I'm an owner in several different publishers. So I'm one of the owners of Play to Z Games with Zev and Stephen Bonacore. But there's several owners there, and I take very much a backseat role. I look at the games. I try to help where I can. I'm also an owner at Rose Gauntlet Games, Rose Gauntlet Entertainment, with Isaac Vega and Lindsay Road. I'm an owner with Dized, who are the online video tutorials for board games. It's a yet another way to learn how to play games. It's not watching a video and it's not reading a book. It's an interactive tutorial. I love their software. I love the people. Yoni and Tomi are the founders, and they're just the most amazingly delightful people. And I'm probably forgetting other ones. But
It's funny.
I've worked
It's
with a lot of publishers in various ways, and yeah, it's fun. I like being involved.
it's funny how you and Stephen, who are supposedly retired,
I
uh,
know.
and it's funny how you mentioned this and that, and now I did this and I did that, and then maybe I'm forgetting something. Like,
It's there's probably a well, I'm one of the owners, a minor owner of Gen Con as well. But that's purely just an investment side. I don't have any power there. But I love the show, and I want the show to succeed. It's an amazing, huge convention.
that's really nice. I haven't been there, but I hope I will someday. Let's see in which capacity I will be there.
There you
Um,
go.
it can be in many capacities, but eventually we'll talk about that in another a different opportunity. Um, I am very curious because you guys, when you are doing the podcast, you guys are always in a different place, or almost
Oh
always.
yeah,
You meet in Essen and maybe in Vegas doing something, and
sure.
and yeah, like twice or three times a year, and the rest of the times you are maybe in Mozambique and is somewhere in Alaska. And
It's possible.
but 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 many times you are in one of your houses, like right now,
Yeah.
hosting gatherings of designers,
Oh, I love it.
right?
So I was very lucky, and I was able to get this house in 2015. And it's a big house with a lot of rooms, and I made all of the rooms into bedrooms so that I could have groups of people over. And I've had groups of designers over who will just work on their prototypes and try to get things ready. Professional developers to get games ready. Some companies. I've had Lucky Duck has done a lot of retreats here. We're going to have some other big companies coming soon. Um, and I just like opening up the house to these amazing creative people, mostly so I can watch what they're doing and just be part of it. So it's a very open, very casual environment. We actually have a group at the house now. It's a group of developers and designers who do just a retreat once or twice a year somewhere to compare and show each other all the stuff they're working on. So.
And eventually learn from each other.
Well, it's fun
That's
because a lot of games that have been released kind of started here. So some of the, like Stephen Bonacor's Lord of the Rings game was shown off here first. Um, a lot of the Asmodee Office Dog games kind of started here before they were generally announced. They were play tested here. Um, it's
yeah.
been really fun.
How did that happen? Do you know? Let's talk about Steven for a bit. You will like it. How did that happen? How did that opportunity? I mean, not the
How did
opportunity.
Steven get that game?
Yeah, I mean, no, no. I mean, was it his idea? Was it Jeff's idea? Was it someone else's
It was
idea?
really a combination of things. I remember Jeff came up to me at BGG Con several years ago, and he was so excited because he had contacted Asmodee when Asmodee had the license for Middle Earth. And he had said he had an idea for a Lord of the Rings game that was a roll and write. And he he was very excited that they said okay, that they said it was good to go. And then he said he's going to contact Steven because Steven is just so excited about Lord of the Rings games. And they got together, and Steven was so excited. And so I got to play early versions of it for several years, and it came out so wonderfully. One of the main creatives at Office Dog who does the look and the feel of games is Brianna Woodward. And she is so incredibly good at making games look the best they can look. The Reiner Knizia there and back again Hobbit game is all her design. River of Gold looks the way it does
Wow.
because of her. All of the trick taking games, which I think the art and the box and everything looks so good, even the little cloth tag to pull out the
Yeah.
cards, that's all her look and feel. She's so incredibly good at what she does. So, and she's local. She lives a half an hour drive from here, and she comes over pretty regularly, and I love seeing what she's working on.
It's amazing that people, I mean, we talk generally about designers and artists and sometimes publishers, and we keep forgetting there are a lot of people in in other capacities involved on
Oh
the
yeah,
the making of a game. And we never, I mean, maybe you and Steven and I and the friends and the guys, but not the gamer in general talks about developers or playtesters
yeah.
or
When I
and
was, I wondered about the same thing. When I was doing the news podcast for Dice Tower, I decided to do a series of podcasts that were about jobs within board games that people didn't really know. And I did three of them about developers, which in Europe generally you usually call them editors. So the game has been signed, the designer has made the game, the publisher hires a developer to make it a better game for that studio. And it's a hard job. They generally don't get credit, but they do so much work in so many different directions. So I did three episodes about design developers. I did two episodes about graphic designers,
Yeah.
and I did one episode about people who professionally work on rule books. So, and I interviewed lots of people who work in that field. It was really fun. For me, it was a learning experience of what these jobs actually mean.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to um, to present those jobs to most people because it's hard to understand. If you are a gamer and not if you are a gamer, if you are playing games, even regularly, you don't think about these kind of things. You don't think about play testing or how many play tests you need to get a good game done.
Yeah.
And sometimes they are not even enough because people keep finding flaws and flaws in so many well-known games were corrected afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Even with expansions, you mentioned the other day that Champions of Midgard is so much better with the expansion. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's Champions of Midgard was very good for the time when it came out, and I think it was actually one of the first games I sent someone to Gen Con to buy it for me. That was quite a while ago. Uh, and I loved it. It was great, but it was very dated in that when you lost warriors, they were gone. So you would gather up a bunch of warriors, which were dice. You would go into battle. You'd roll the dice, and you might win or lose. And if you lost, you had to start over. And the expansion let you turn dead warriors into a resource, which you then could bring to Valhalla and fight more. And it just improved the game so much. It took away the negative side of losing and gave you compensation. And I think that's a modern design element that's happening more and more and more is you might try something and lose, but you get this even though you lost.
Yeah, you still get it. You still get something. How do you see? How do you see this thing that sometimes games flaws? This can be controversial, okay? But
Sure.
sometimes games flaws are solved by expansions. Are you patient
I
enough?
know.
Imagine you play the basic game, the base game, and you were like, oh, yeah, there were some interesting ideas, but the game, it wasn't just there. But then someone says, you need to try this expansion because this expansion solves the game or a model or
Mm.
I don't know. And what do you think about this?
Uh, I like to think that an expansion doesn't solve a problem with a game. An expansion takes the framework of the game and makes it better. I think if a game has real problems, it probably won't be popular enough to get an expansion. But I do really like when expansions add to a game and make it better without making it either a different game or a more complicated, too complicated game. A perfect expansion just takes what's already there and elevates it a little bit and gives you more interesting choices. I like that a lot.
That is tricky
I
because
know.
that is tricky because now I'm asking. I heard you and I remember Ignacio's opinion about this,
Oh
and
no, he remembers what I said.
I
That's
remember.
terrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I remember. I also let's make this worse.
Okay.
I may eventually remember what Steven said about this also.
Okay.
but I don't remember your take on it. But I think you all agreed on this actually, that an expansion, for example, should be more cards,
Yeah,
more material of the well. Um, I know I disappeared, but I will show up again eventually.
that's
Uh,
okay.
but is that enough? That's what I mean.
It's
Because I
it's
I kind of
difficult.
no, because I kind of also enjoy some expansions to change the game.
Mm,
I mean, if the game
yeah,
is really good, if the base game is really good, you don't have, you shouldn't, you don't have to change it. I mean, people want to have that experience. I know that, and maybe amplify it a little bit if it's possible.
yeah.
Also great.
Well,
But
there's a
some
lot of
expansions they really change the game.
it's true, and I am a little. I don't love expansions that change the game a lot. If you're going to change it a lot, just make another version, make a new game. But there's a lot of games that rely on the cards for variety. You have things like Terraforming Mars or Wingspan, where you have a lot of cards, or even Dune Imperium. It's
Yeah,
a deck builder. Deck builders live
yeah,
by exciting new cards to add to your deck. So the natural thing to do with expansions is just add more cards that are exciting without taking away the feel of the game. I do enjoy the occasional expansion which takes the game and just makes it point in a different direction. So Orleans, fantastic bag building game, and there was an expansion that made it cooperative, and it was great. It worked so well. And just recently, I got the new expansion for Acropolis, the tile laying game, and it's cooperative. And that's just an amazing twist to play this game that we really love in a different way. It's really cool.
yeah. It's really nice to see that these days we have so many. I mean, we have maybe too many games coming out. I mean,
Yeah, that's been a problem for a while.
too many for the sake of the market, not
Yeah.
because we don't want to have more games and to
I
see more
I
games.
think every Essen we have about 3,000 new games now.
3,000 already?
It was at about 25, 26, 27 the past couple of years, but we are right next to 3,000 new games at Essen.
Wow. I don't know. I don't remember when there was someone telling me that I was like surprised because it was probably before the first time I went to the Spiel, so 8 years ago. And
Yeah.
someone told me something about like 1,000 new games, and I was like, okay. And
It's
I think
only
using
going up.
this reference, 3,000 almost. Wow,
Yep. And
it's too
people tell
many.
me I can't get them all and I can't play them all, but I try.
You know what? My friends complain that I mean, Essen is not really a convention; it's more like a fair
Oh yeah,
than
yeah.
a convention. But people keep complaining, and João Jota, your long lost brother, will confirm that I that they are always looking for me at conventions to play with them, and I am never available. Not because I'm playing, but because I'm talking with someone.
Yeah. It's conventions have gotten to a point where it's hard to walk from one side of the convention to the other because I meet people I know and I want to say hello to them. I want to chat. So it takes me an hour to go across the hall because
Yeah.
I keep getting distracted. And it's Essen. So every friend I see, I've not seen them in a while, and they have a new game that I have to hear about. I love it. It's one of my very favorite shows, and it's just so fun to see all the everything that's going on. It's crazy.
I remember meeting once Gilles from, I don't know if you know him from Mebo Games, Gilles Doré.
Oh yeah, Gilles. I know Gilles.
Okay. And so I met him once in Essen, and we were like realizing that that was our uh, yearly meeting.
Well, I don't see most of the people from Europe, except when I go to Essen. You were saying that often, I will be with Stephen Bonacore here or there,
Mhm.
but Ignacy doesn't travel that often.
Yeah, I
And
know.
so I o- the only time I really can see Ignacy is at Essen in person, and he leaves early. He comes early and then he leaves
I
like on
know.
Friday.
I know. I missed him uh, maybe 1 year or two in a row. Like we hadn't met, and I hadn't contacted him previously. We hadn't met before,
Yeah.
so I was just looking for him there. I went on Saturday, and I always missed him. So finally, I don't know. I think yeah, I met Ignacy Nessen for the first time.
Yeah. He
I
was
think so. Yeah,
supposed to go to Lydia,
yeah. He
but
was
he
there
had to
actually last
cancel it
year.
he had to cancel at the very last minute, which was very sad.
Yeah, he was there last year, and
Mhm.
we had the chance to talk a little bit, and I play tested uh, Bohemians. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a really really nice experience. And yeah, it's a really nice game. It's a huge success here. We have a group in the city. We created a group. I and another friend. We created a group here, a public group for people to come and play. And we have three events, three regular events, a monthly event, a weekly event, and an event that happens every 2 months. And Bohemians is always on the table. It's,
It's a wonderful game where you can give your friends syphilis.
that's a very very great, it's a great selling phrase.
They should have put it right on the cover. It's
I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure they should, but
I really
maybe.
like the feel of that game a lot. It is so interesting. You're just trying to be a bohemian artist, trying so hard to not have to go to work
Yeah, yeah,
and
that is
just
true.
do what you love to do. It's so interesting. It's a great game.
We should suggest this to Ignacy because he said someone somewhere, not somewhere. He said on the Insider once that for or not maybe not on the Insider, maybe on his podcast, whatever. He said that Bohemians wasn't doing so well in the US. So maybe it's just an idea. They could put out a darker edition, like
More
King of Tokyo,
diseases.
the dark edition,
It's
with that
pretty dark.
sentence, with, with that sentence on the cover.
That's it.
Yeah,
Give
I,
syphilis to your friends. Buy bohemians.
I,
I
yeah,
love the
and
game. I picked it up immediately and absolutely love it.
yeah, I missed Essen last year. It was the first time in many years. I actually have seen you there at
Yeah.
the Board Games Insider meeting
Oh
two
yeah.
2 years ago. I don't know, 2 years ago.
That's so
Yeah,
fun.
but
The fans of Board Game Insider are so friendly. I get emails all the time and absolutely love it. It's I get asked just the strangest questions and they're fantastic.
it's a community now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's fantastic. More people come up to me from Board Game Insider just saying hello and they love this comment and they think I'm totally wrong about that comment. And that never really happened with the Dice Tower podcast. It's a different community, and I really enjoy it.
it
And
is.
I enjoy being the the phrase being the foil. It's if you have a movie with a good guy and a bad guy, the bad guy is the foil. It's the person you're up against, and I am. I'm always up against Steven. We always argue back and forth about stuff, and I absolutely love it. And I mean, Steven's one of my very best friends in the industry, and we have so much fun making the podcast. Almost every time when we finish recording and turn it off, I have to say, thank you, Steven. That was really fun.
No, that feeling really comes out to
Oh, good.
the
I'm glad.
yeah. It's really we at least I speak for myself. I've been listening to the podcast for years, and it really comes out. We really feel it. There are some, especially some parts of the podcast that I enjoy most, like the playtesting, like you asking questions and then the people asking
Yeah,
questions. It's I really enjoy that part. The
and I do
sharing
I do work
moment.
really hard on those questions. I think
Yeah,
I write probably 90% of those questions.
yeah, I know.
It's very fun.
because
And
because Steven is not at work. He's there to enjoy his
yeah,
retirement.
no, I mean he loves putting questions in. He put in the pizza question. I can't believe he put that in. That was
The
crazy.
pizza question.
What's your
Okay.
favorite kind of pizza?
Uh,
Ugh,
that
ugh.
has an obvious answer. The one without pineapple.
Oh, I like everything. I like all food. I will give you a teaser though on the new episode that's going to drop. We made a mistake. And so I had the editor insert a comment in the middle. Basically, I encouraged him to say how wrong we were and how terrible we were, but I still have to listen to his comment. So the Spiel nominees were announced, and when they announced them in German, they listed six nominees for every category. And only an hour later did they say, these three were really nominees, but these three were not. And we reported on all six as nominees. So we made a mistake.
You want to know what? What? I think we're not the only ones
No,
because
no.
on our group, on my group of gamers, we have a Telegram group, and someone shared an article from some website, and there were six nominated, not three.
I know, because they presented it very strangely. So what happened was Stephen and I were about to record, and I said, you know, Stephen, they're going to announce the Spiel nominees in 20 minutes. We should delay recording. So we delayed, and I listened to the announce. They said, here's the six. I'm like, great, wrote them down, called Stephen back, and then we recorded. And so we actually recorded at the same time Spiel was announcing all the nominees. But I didn't stick with it the entire German broadcast because at the very end they said, "Oh, here's the real nominees." So we had to fix it later in editing.
How do you see the Spiel nominations? I mean, you guys talked a lot. I mean, this is a normal conversation of every year, and it's not only with the Spiel des Jahres nominees. It's basically when there are awards and there are nominations and
Yeah,
people winning things. There's no consensus. It's impossible, of course, and we are not here to discuss this. But I feel, and these are my personal thoughts, that 10 years ago, 20, 15 years ago, the how to say this without being,
you're gonna be mean.
I'm gonna be mean, but as our other guest Ben would say,
Oh, Ben
I
would say
don't
it.
care.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
care.
the Spiel still is very important to the industry. If you're nominated for Spiel, you're immediately informed that you need to reprint your game and you need to reprint at least 40, 50,000 of them because it has that big an impact. Having said that, the spiel, I think, gets lighter and lighter each year.
Yeah,
The
okay.
games, they
I didn't
ignore
have to say
heavy
it. Thank
games.
you.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I think they embrace it. The actual Spiel des Jahres is for a family weight light game. Then they have Kennerspiel, which is supposed to be a more complicated game, but that one, I, it's so strange. Sometimes those Kennerspiel nominees are lighter than the Spiel nominees.
Yeah,
They never do a very heavy game. And everybody says
never.
it's biased towards German games, but it's part of the rules. You cannot win the Spiel unless it's published in Germany. So of course there's going to be a push towards German games.
Okay, yeah, but that I understand. Okay, it's part of the rules. Fine, the rules are there.
Right, right.
Publish your game in German, and you get a chance. I'm fine with that. I even though even what you said after that, it's not like
Yeah.
so acceptable, but it is probably correct. But the thing is, it's getting lighter and lighter every year. I think,
Yes.
and
I
to a
I
point,
do
I think,
think we need a good award for heavy games because there's none.
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Now there's a very interesting. I don't know if you know about the Diamante. Uh, so this it's a great story. It started with a couple. It's Anne Catherine Perrier and her husband. He designed Federation,
yeah, I know from
and
Explorate
they usually go to
to the
Lydia.
Yukon. Yes, I met her. Yes.
They have a group of friends that once a year they all get together in one house and they play very heavy games. And they will cycle who plays which game and how many people, and they vote. And just is it's just Anne and her friends, and they started calling it the Diamante. So now it's an award. It's the Diamante Award, and they focus on heavy games. So I like looking at that and seeing, okay, they liked these heavy games. The winner last year, I believe, was Ada's Dream.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I haven't played it yet, but I think I can be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think Costa actually told me 2 or 3 days ago really well things about Ada's Dream. Yes.
I
Yeah, he told me.
just got my copy. It was very hard to get here for a while, so I got a copy only a few days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I let's see if it holds up with for a long time because it's really hard now. It's really hard for a game to survive after 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
our industry moves so fast. We all love the brand new game. We love the most the game that has not come out yet. Then we play it when it comes out, and then we forget about it, and sometimes it never comes back again. It's tough. It's one of the difficult parts about our industry is how fast it moves.
Yeah, that is true. Then before I ask you this question that I really want to ask you, and that it comes from your words now,
Uh-oh.
I just want to point out because now you talked about the Diamante and it came some other subject came to my mind that's related, which is the other part, the other segment of Board Games Insider. It's one of fan favorites. I think it's the Diamond Entertainment uh, segment.
I look really hard for stories about Diamond just so
Oh no,
I make
enough.
Steven talk about Diamond. Oh, that has turned into such a nightmare. I can tell you, I have the script that for recording tomorrow, and there's nothing about Diamond.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I could leak that. There's a lot of things about Embracer and Asmodee because Steven loves talking about that too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, the Diamond story turned so bizarre. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. That's a
it's
that's a
it's it's
strange
funny.
one.
it's like non, how to say in English, non-voluntary comedy. You know, it
It's
gets so
funny
much.
because you can't believe it's really happening.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. It's exactly that. It's unbelievable, really. But well,
Oh yeah.
let's move on from them.
Sure, sure, sure.
And tell me, over because we were talking about there are so many games coming, and the game we like the most is the one that's coming.
Yeah,
Uh, that's still to come. Which games? And I'm not talking only, or I'm not talking mostly about small games, but you can mention them if you think they
sure.
deserve the mention. Which games have you played the most? I don't know, recently or the last year.
I track my games.
Okay, okay.
So, and I've tracked over 3,000 plays now. Uh, I have played a new prototype that I can't mention, sorry. And then Railway Boom. I've been playing a lot of Railway Boom. It's really good. It's Hisashi Hayashi, who's one of my favorite designers. He designed Yokohama. And it's a very clever, almost 18xx game about it's engine building using train engines. It literally is. And I really enjoyed that. The other one that really surprised me is there's a light game called Got 5 that just came out.
Ah, yeah, they were playing it
It's
last week at a
incredible.
con.
It's so easy and elegant and beautiful. Um, I played it and immediately thought this one will win the Spiel. And I fully expected it to be announced as a Spiel nominee. But I think either it's too new or it is not available in Germany yet. One of those two, because there's no
I
way
think
they
it's
could have
both. I
missed
think it's
it.
probably both.
Because I'm lucky enough that I get to go to the Gathering of Friends in April, and it released at the Gathering of Friends, and the designer was there, Johan Levitt, who's one of the Turing Machine designers.
Yeah.
He was there, and the company sent him 50 copies at the gathering, and he was giving it out to friends at the gathering, and it was amazing. I love that game is so well done. So that one impressed me, and that's a very light one. Um, there's a poker game from Asmodee called All In Predictions that I thought was pretty clever, and it was fun. That's easy to find. Um,
Poker games are a thing now, right?
They are a big trend, and I can't decide if it's because of the gang or if it's because of Balatro. I think it's the gang. I think there's such a big delay between when you start working on a game and then it comes out. I think that most of these poker games were worked on before Balatro got so popular.
Probably yes.
So, but I think we're going to see a lot more poker games.
I think it's
And
a
they've
trend.
they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, those are the ones that I've really Scarab Ray I also have been very impressed with. That's Garphill Games and designer Shem Phillips. He did the North Sea trilogy and the South Tigers trilogy and the West Kingdoms trilogy. Scarab Ray is really good. It's really an inventory management game. You can do lots of things and gain lots of resources. But as you gain resources, your inventory space fills up and actually gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you get penalized for holding too much stuff. So you need to actively work to reduce your inventory. And you're not allowed to just throw things away.
Let's
So,
let's let's make an exercise here. Sometimes I
okay.
ask, yeah, it's just an idea that came to mind now. I sometimes when I have designers here, I always ask them for advice to new designers and stuff. But no, I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you something that it goes to meet the same goal. But generally, when I play test games, the first question, if I put questions after the play testing to the play testers,
Yep.
because sometimes I only watch them and I take my notes. But sometimes the first when I have to ask questions or when I want to ask questions, the first question will always be, "What did you like the less about the
Yeah.
game?" Okay, because it gives me some working material to make it better. So
Yeah.
my question to you is, when as a publisher and as a personality who tests who play tests lots of games and uh, what is a thing, or it can be more than one thing, that you see while you're playing a prototype that really turns you off?
Uh, I look at a lot of games as rules and exceptions. And if there's too many exceptions, I get turned off. If there's a pretty simple rule set, I'll play. And if the instructions say, well, here's the rule set, but if you have this card, then you have to do it different. You do this. And if the other player plays this, then you have to do it a different way and do this. And if you have these resources, you have to do it different and do this. If there's too many exceptions to the rule, it's a problem. I also really dislike uh, games that are a battle between two players where you constantly can cancel the other player. So I attack you. I cancel your attack. Oh, I cancel your cancel. Then I'm out. I stop. I'm done. I won't play that. There's two. That is 1990s, early 2000s design, and it's not fun for me.
Well, yeah, there's someone said once, and people keep saying it, and it's true. If you want to become a better designer, I'm not saying even becoming a great designer, but if you want to become a better designer, to grow up as a designer, play lots of games.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Well, remember, beginning designers add more and more to their game, and experienced designers take away more and more from their game.
because that's probably what you should be doing.
You
it's
probably you probably have a lot of very cool ideas. Don't put them all in one game.
it's funny that a few days ago, uh, I was playing here at home with two friends. I'm not saying the name of the game. Is from from a friend,
Okay.
and but I actually gave him my feedback directly. So, but I'm not saying here. Anyway, we were playing the game, and there were so many great ideas there, and cool mini games, and but the economy of the game, in our opinion,
Yeah.
and some people will disagree about this, including your long lost brother. Uh, the economy was all wrong. the
Yeah.
feeling, the feeling was really, really, it wasn't good at all.
I,
And
I I've definitely played games with very neat mechanisms, but it felt like there was no challenge after a bit because you got too much stuff. The economy was wrong, or the other way that everything was so hard to do that the economy was so too thin.
that was the case.
Yeah.
It's just the reward wasn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't good enough to the effort, to the sacrificial effort we
Yeah.
were putting we were putting to get it. But yeah, it happens, and I mean, there are some people who enjoy it, from what I've seen. So it's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying. I'm just telling my opinion. So don't you people there hit me because
No, it's true. I've
But
seen it a lot.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to balance because there is this new, actually not so new, but it's kind of recent wave of games which always give, they are always giving you something. Okay, you do this, you are playing well, you get it. You don't play well, you still get it somehow. And
Yeah.
I personally I don't like it so much because I like when things are a little bit harder to get. Um, I don't like
It's
to play a game where
yeah.
I feel that I didn't know what I was doing and I still won.
Well, I think that there's a lot of games designed knowing that the players are only going to play it once.
That is true.
So they want the players to have a very good experience, to do very well, and then tell their friends. So there's a lot of games that no matter what you do, even if you play random moves, you'll do very well.
Yeah,
And
but
someone will win, but all the scores will be very tight.
yeah,
And
yeah,
because it feels bad to lose, and it feels bad to be out of resources and not be able to do anything. So games try so hard to give you a little reward even if you fail, and to give you a little extra boost if you're in the back. And that's hard to balance. You don't want to do too much of that, or else you are swimming in gold and you can do anything you want by the end of the game. And that doesn't feel good either.
yeah. But it's also happening a lot these days. But it's a consequence of the market. And
Yeah.
you have games, you have, as we were saying before, it's every two, you have 2 weeks to make your game noticed, and
Yeah.
people just don't play if they have a bad experience or what they feel as a bad experience playing a game. They will not go back just because there are so many others that
And they won't tell anybody else. You kind of
and will
rely
tell.
on other people seeing it and going, wow, that looks fun. I want to play. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about splatter games? They take a very definite strategy with this. Splatter games are hard, and you can
Yeah.
lose, and you could lose very badly.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I was talking about this also with Ben,
yep,
and this gave me a very um, nice and heated conversation with Costa uh, a
yep,
few years back in VianaCon, another of the big conventions we have here, and it just I always use this example. I was playing St. Petersburg for the first
yeah.
time last year or a year and a half ago. I don't know. And because everyone was saying wonders about the game, and okay, let's find a copy and buy it. So I bought a copy and I put it on the table. And after the first round, I had lost the game.
It's hard, and it's a little dated. It's that classic Euro. You kind of need to know what you're doing before you play.
Yeah,
But
yes,
those games were made for multiple plays.
yeah. I know, I know, no. I had several talks about this game, and it's interesting because you hear different points of views, and some from gamers who have been gaming for since the 70s, like you, and uh,
Yeah.
and some from gamers who are more recent, and some from gamers who like different kinds of games and so on. And which is always interesting because hearing different points of views make you grow as a gamer, also not only as a designer but as a gamer. And the point is, or I understand that. I understand that, especially some old school games, they are to be played more than once. They
Of
are
course.
not
Yeah.
games to only be played. They are games to be mastered. Okay.
And
Uh,
I
I I am not
yeah, that's
against those
hard.
games. Go on, what?
There's so one of the things we talk about a lot is there's some games out there, and St. Petersburg is one of them, but also um, you have Puerto Rico and Terra Mystica, If you play it with a group of people who've played it a lot, you make a move, and even your first move, and they'll say, "Oh, no, 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 no. You've already lost. You can't start like that." There's a defined way to play it that everybody in that community knows. And if you play it wrong, you've lost. And I have trouble with those. I love those games, but I never really play games to win. I enjoy it if I win. And
Of
of
course.
course, my goal is to do as well as I can. But I'm not going to play the predefined first five moves just to win. I'm going to explore the mechanisms and have fun with the game.
When you play a game, imagine that you're. I'm not. We are not even talking about these kinds of games.
Yeah,
Any game, but a game that needs or has a level of complexity. It doesn't need to be a heavy game. It can be a medium game, for example. But you are teaching it to new gamers, three, four people. But you are playing also. Okay,
yeah,
you are going to be part of the table. Um, and it makes a difference in many games when you know already when you have played it before. How do you manage this? Because it's, I mean, it, if it's a good game, you don't need to be doing the same thing all the time to win the game. I mean, to start the
yeah.
same way or to run to the same place. That's not what I mean. But how do you manage your, I mean, your goal on to win, because the goal of the game is to win, uh, with other people's expectations for the game? Because when you play, are you playing bad for someone else to feel better sometimes?
I asked this on the podcast. I think it's a little rude to not to win when you teach a game, but to completely destroy the other players. I mean,
It's
you know how
very
to
rude.
play. It's
It's
very
very,
rude.
very rude.
I will not try to play badly, but I will talk about every move for the first three or four moves until people know the game. I'll talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing, what my goals are. You know, you should be careful because I'm playing this, and it means that I probably want to do that. And I'll help other people out and tell them, oh, you have an opportunity here where you can do this and this and this. And I will talk about everybody's turn as we go around the table for until it looks like they're getting a little annoyed with it, which will be the first four or five turns. And then I'll let them go. And if they look really lost or confused, then I'll come in again. But I'm not very good at games. I remember rules, but I don't win very often. I have a lot of friends who are much better at playing games than me. And so it's usually not a risk that I'm going to do very, very, very well. And I'm spending all of my thought and energy working on other people's plays. So I'm helping them do well, and I forget what I have. So it works out. It works out.
I have a friend when he's teaching a game, he explains a rule and then he always gives a recommendation. Like, but you know, there is this strategy. Maybe you should take it in the beginning, and then he goes to another rule.
Well, that's a mistake if you're first teaching a game. Don't teach the
It's,
strategy because
yeah,
they have no idea what you're talking about.
yeah, and there are some rules, and this is also for maybe for not only for new designers, but for every designer. There are some rules about presenting a game, actually,
Yeah,
and make it quick. Tell
yeah.
all the
What is the
tell
goal
yeah
and what do you do?
yeah.
You know?
But yeah, that's a very a very short summary of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yeah. Tell I always like the men to mention the theme if it has the theme. Okay, so
And remember,
tell
if you're pitching a game to a publisher, if you're
yeah
explaining your new game, they know board games.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah, that is true.
use the fancy words. Say,
Yeah,
okay, this is a hand management game with these cards, but you deck build by getting those. I mean, use the terms and they'll understand.
yeah. And then explain the turn of the game.
Yeah.
And that is all. And keep the special cards and all the special actions and the exceptions out.
Keep them to a minimum. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if your game relies on rules are written on the cards, which is fine, then let them read the cards. You don't have to explain every card to them.
Yeah. That is some good piece of advice that many publishers told me a few a few years back. And I will always be thankful to all of them
Yeah.
because it was a pattern in 2019.
Yeah. You need to be able to explain your game in a minute. And
Yeah,
be very careful if you say, my game is just like the crew, except. Like, don't make a game that's just like another game.
yeah,
And comparisons to other games usually don't help you. So talk about the mechanisms, talk about what you do, what your goal is. And then it's interesting after they understand the game to talk about the tension. Like, what's unique about my game is that you really need to decide whether you need to play this card for an activity or for score. And that's the tension. So that'll come across.
and so it is. I need to ask you this: every
Yeah.
gamer has a designer inside, a potential designer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So among the 300, I was counting 357 things that you do. Uh,
I think you missed one or two. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, maybe 360. Okay, among those, have you ever considered uh, designing a game?
I've thought about it, and I've actually sat down with paper and pencil and made some designs. And I don't have the tenacity. I can't keep going. So I come up with some ideas, and then my brain gets distracted, and I do something else. And I should go back and just work on it, work on it, work on it. Um, Very good friend of mine, Daryl Andrews, who's the designer of Sagrada.
Yeah.
Uh, he loves co-designing with people, and I love bouncing ideas back and forth with other people. And he wants to do a game with me that I think is a fun process. We'll see if it happens, but and then
Okay.
I have a very complicated spreadsheet kind of brain. I want to do complex things, and I don't think they're fun for most people. So I,
You mean while designing also?
while designing, yeah, one of the designs I wanted to work on was a design that I called Subroutine, and it was a game where you convert cubes into other cubes. But if you made a little engine of cards that converted all the cubes along the way, you could scoop that entire engine and put it on one card and sell it to the other players because you've created a subroutine. And it got complicated, but that was one that I thought was a neat idea.
But you know that many things, many successful things. I'm not talking only about my games. I'm talking about successful things. The designs they started like that,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, of course.
by becoming complicated in the beginning, and then as every great designer, as you mentioned,
You
you will
take
be
away.
cutting things.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too many things and I don't do any of them for a long time. That's the problem.
What other things do you do aside from the hobby? Not connected.
Oh, it's difficult to say. I like to travel, for sure. And I've done strange little things in the hobby, like I own the rights to the word meeple in the United States,
Ah,
and that was
yeah, that story. Oh, yeah, no, 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 wait.
it's
Tell us that story for the people who don't know. Yeah, I
so
followed the story on BGI and it was very interesting. Go on.
so uh, a large publisher, Hansen Gluck, had sent a letter to a small publisher telling them they were not allowed to use the word meeple because that was their word. And it was bizarre on a lot of levels. And I read about this because I was doing news on it. And while I was researching the story, um, I called a friend of mine who's a lawyer and said, how does this really work? And in the middle of us figuring out the story, we both stopped and said, I wonder who has the rights in the United States? And we both immediately started clicking at the computer, and we found out nobody did. So we got the rights to the word and publicized it just to put a spotlight on the fact that other people we thought were kind of abusing the rights to the word. Um, and we wrote a very it's mostly Marion, my friend who's the lawyer, wrote a very long, complicated contract for if people wanted to use the word meeple. And the deal was they could use the word if they paid us in candy and gave us credit in the rule book. And because if you get the rights to a word in the United States, you need to show that you are aggressively defending your ownership of the word. You're not allowed to just casually say you have it. So we needed to demand something. So we demanded candy. And that went on for a few years. Now, this is some advanced news. The court has kind of ruled that meeple cannot be owned as a word in the United States because it is a part of a larger entity. It is part of many larger games. But we still own the rights for T-shirts. So that's just getting finalized right now. It's a lot of paperwork and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know the last part. It's still amazing.
It's pretty new, yeah.
It,
But
it,
I don't know what else I really do in my spare time. I like going out and eating, good food and going to fancy restaurants. And I share that with Daryl Andrews and with Stephen Bonacore and with lots of other friends. So when we're at gaming conventions or other countries, we try to go out and find good things to eat. Um, Whenever I go to Essen, I always travel to other countries around the trip. So usually I go to Iceland and usually I go to Finland. This year I'm trying to be able to go to Poland around Essen to go visit Ignacy. I've never been. Um, so that sort of thing and travel,
I have
it's
a piece of
pretty
advice for
fun.
you.
Yes,
I,
sir.
I, I was living in Poland for a period for 6 months many years ago. And okay, it takes some time. Okay, Poland is a very beautiful country.
And it's very big. So
That is true. That
there's a
is also
lot
true.
there. So I feel a little bad saying, "Oh, I'll visit Poland. I'll take a day or two."
No,
No, I know that. I know that.
no, it's such an amazing country. Such great, kind people
Yes.
who live there, and they are not all Slavic. Ignacys there.
No, I mean Ignacy jokes about that, but Ignacy is one
Yeah,
of the funniest, kindest, smartest, most amazing people I know.
that is
And
true.
I just want to spend a little bit more time with him. I really I feel pain that I don't understand Polish because
Nobody,
I
nobody
think
understands.
I think that
Not
if
even
I
Polish people.
understood the language, I would get so much enjoyment out of talking to Ignacy. I think Ignacy is probably so much funnier and so much smarter if he can do it in his own language. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing something there. It's funny. I've never felt that before, but
You still have time to learn Polish, huh?
I suspect that my ancient cottage cheese brain can't do it.
I still remember a few words. I don't know if they are the most recommendable ones, but
Oh no. Well,
they
there's
always
no
say
vowels.
the first thing you learn in a language are the bad words to
Of
curse
course,
and
I know.
yeah. So I still
Every
remember those.
time.
But in my defense, I still remember lots of other words and still some sentences. But it's very hard. It's
Yeah.
not that I didn't try hard enough to learn. I was dumb and stupid and too young, and I didn't try hard to learn. But I still remember a few things. But it's every word is so it's
I
it's
I love that the board game Clank
yeah.
is different in every language. I mean, it's just a noise, but it's different in every language. And in Polish, it's żrdank. I love that. And then in German, it's klonk, and it's just different in every. I find it so fascinating how they translate a noise like
No,
that.
no, wait. You don't know because you are American, so you
I
don't
know
have that
nothing
problem.
because I'm
You
American.
don't have no. You don't have this problem. But this is a thing here, and for example, I don't know in Spain, in Brazil, and I believe in many other countries. The translation of um, movie titles.
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't believe.
Oh, and I absolutely love movies. I work in the industry a little bit, so I get to meet a lot of movie people, and I absolutely love being in that world. So,
I for a long time I made some movies and some
oh,
short
wonderful.
movies. Yeah, and I was in some festivals, and I even won an award. Yay!
Fantastic.
Yeah, very small festival, irrelevant, but it was I really loved making movies, and that's um, that's something I really like to do. And I always, and I will never accomplish this dream of meeting Robert Redford. And
I yes. I have not met him, but
uh,
many of the actors in my studio have worked with him. So
wow,
I'm one person separated.
it's amazing. It's I really admire him as a not only as an actor. He was a fine actor and for sure a fine director, but as a person who would think differently. And it was very interesting. I mean, all the initiatives that he had, the Sundance Festival and so on.
Yeah.
He was a visionary, for sure.
Yep.
And yeah, but I got late, so maybe I'll meet him
No,
somewhere.
it's
Something, yeah.
no, I understand. It's tricky.
No, yeah, it's normal. It's okay. I never really got high hopes that I would meet him one day. I met Mike Figgis, Mike Figgis, or Figis. I don't know how to pronounce him. Who did Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage and
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I met him briefly in a festival in Poland
Oh, lovely.
um, many years ago, and I talked once with Toni Collette.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because she was in a movie from a good friend, and one day he put me on Skype with her, but like for 5 minutes. I don't know. I
That's
was
really fun.
too, you know that feeling when you always wanted to meet someone or you admire someone that much, but when you finally see this person, you are not prepared and you don't know what to say. Yeah, that was me. so so yeah, it was nice. It was a nice moment. She was really kind and and uh, and
Yeah,
she probably doesn't even remember me.
I got to spend some time with Leah Thompson. Uh,
Oh,
she's really good friends of one of my actors, and we went to a film festival, and I sat next to her, and we chatted, and she was very, very kind. So,
I am
and she
jealous.
was, yeah, she was with Harry Hamlin and someone else. So it was fun.
Yeah, it's a different experience.
Well,
Um,
certainly being down in Los Angeles, it happens a lot. It's a
yeah, no,
small
yeah,
world down there.
I bet so. Uh, Many years, 20 years ago, I think. No, I was a part of the organization of a festival here in Braga, and one of the guests. Yeah, there were some important guests, Portuguese guests, and one of them was a very famous, very popular actor called Nicolau Reiner, and
Mm.
every Portuguese person alive knows this guy, knows who is this guy, because he was in every single thing on TV
Oh
uh,
wow.
since I don't know the late 70s. Yes, and he was an amazing actor and an amazing TV host, and also a great comedian. He did some comedy, and he was really fine too. And he was really well known as a great person in the industry. So he was there as a guest, and I had the chance to showing him around the the place, the venue of the festival, um, which was a very different venue and so on. So he was very surprised to see that Braga had these kind of things because he didn't know any space like that in Lisbon, for example. And there's a Braga is like the third city of Portugal after
Mm.
Lisbon and Porto, but there's
Yeah.
still a big difference between Lisbon, Porto, and then Braga. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And he was such a kind person. And in the end, we didn't talk about movies or TV or his career because you know what? They are tired of that.
Sure.
That's what they talk a
They
lot.
talk
That's what
about
they
it all
talk
the
about
time.
all day, every day. And sometimes, and I felt from the beginning that he really just wanted to feel like a normal person. Uh, and he was such a gentle, and I was very happy that he passed away a few years ago, and
Oh
I was
goodness.
very happy to that I had this time with him,
Yeah. Oh,
that we
that's
shared this
wonderful.
time. Sorry.
That's wonderful. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so nice that that got to happen.
yeah, it was really great. So it was really nice when I was in Essen for the first time, and I saw Tom Vessel.
Yeah.
And I saw him from afar, and there was a line. He was at the Dice Tower booth, and
He
there was
draws a crowd.
yeah, there was a line. There was a queue. It was not that big at the time, but I was just watching from a distance, and I was like, this guy is really tall.
Yes. Yep.
And then I finally got to talk with him for a few a few moments, and we also took a picture. And it's funny that you think about people like you and like Tom and like so many other people who are somewhat known to the community because you have a
Yep.
podcast or because you are publishing games or designing them or um, and people and when I got back, everyone was asking me, "Oh, I was Tom, I was Z," because I posted some pictures with them, and I was like, they're just like you, man, and,
There.
and
Yeah. That's I know them all really well, and they're Z's a great guy. It's Camilla's one of my best friends. It's such a cool group. Mike is incredible. I love the group. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
there
show
are.
you a funny one. Uh, when I was working for the Dice Tower, sometimes you we had to at Gen Con and big conventions, only some of the people had exhibitor badges. So to get in early or to do cleanup or takedown, you had to steal someone's badge. So I still have Eric's badge from 2019, and
Oh.
I keep threatening to steal his identity.
I met him in Essen 2019 actually. Uh, he was such
He's a great
uh,
guy.
so sweet. He was so very kind, and he seemed so surprised that so many people were like approaching him, and
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, such a humble person, really. So it was a great moment. We recorded for my channel, like
Great.
no wait, yeah, no, we recorded 10 seconds. It was something like, "Hi, I am Eric Summer, and I am here at the Curious Box." It
we
was
uh, we did a short skit for Above Board for the YouTube channel, where we made it a joke that our host would be wandering the convention and Eric Summerer would narrate as he was going. So, Travis is walking over to the booth now. And he was standing right behind him narrating as he was going because he has a great voice. And then we came back to it and we decided what we would do is do a director's commentary, and we hired Kevin Smith to narrate
oh
the
really?
directors. Yeah. So he did background voice commenting on everything everybody was doing while they were looking around and where the voice was coming from. And that was very fun. I had a really good time with that.
It's such a nice. Sometimes I think we really need these kinds of ideas to promote the hobby. You know, it,
We
it,
do. I would often talk about sharp borders. So the border between people who know role-playing games and the people who don't is fuzzy. You have a
yeah,
lot of people who have heard of D&D and D and they think it's kind of cool and they know what it's about. But the border between people who know hobby board games and the people who don't is very sharp. You get people who know everything about the hobby, or they look at you and go, You're talking about Monopoly, right?" Or they know nothing
yeah.
about the hobby industry. It's such a sharp border. We need more diffusion. We need more people who have heard about these new games and might not know a lot about them, but there's interest in, and we need more in popular culture and more in movies and more in TV and more all over the place.
I think it's getting more and more in popular culture. I remember a few years back, during maybe the it was the last World Cup or the last Euro Cup football soccer. I know
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care about that, but
No,
we
it's
care.
I know
We
about it.
do.
Oh, FIFA's
uh,
going crazy because a lot of cities around here are getting ready for World Cup games. And in Vancouver,
yeah,
it
it's
was
true.
insane.
A few years back, there was there was these guys from the Belgium team. They just posted on Instagram or something, a story or a normal post. I don't know. They were playing Catan on their,
Yes.
yeah, and this was like became so big, so huge. It's and I thought maybe it was one of the first times that I thought like this is the kind of things that we need to promote the hobby.
I
Mm,
agree.
yeah, and now there are some TV series about Ticket to Ride and Magic the Gathering
Yes.
and I think even Catan maybe I think so, yeah, being produced. So I think
Yeah.
it's going, but
Netflix is going to do a series of shows and a movie about Ticket to Ride.
yeah.
And
That is true.
Alan Moon, the designer, is actually involved in the production. So he's very excited about it.
I'm very, very curious because either it's going to
Yeah.
be really good or it's going to be,
I hope it's very good. I
yeah,
really,
yeah, we all
really
hope.
do.
We all hope. And even if it's not that good, we will make it look great and we
And
will make it
there's
sound
been a lot of
amazing.
documentaries recently about the industry. And it's I don't know. There's as many good ones as bad ones, and some are very bad. Um, there's a wonderful documentary called Igniting the Spark, which is about the creation of Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering.
Ah, yeah,
And
you
it's a
guys talked
great,
about.
great documentary. And I'm very biased on that because Peter Atkinson is a good friend, and I think he's a wonderful human being, and he's done so much for our industry. So I love that there's a documentary about how cool he really is.
No, I think there's plenty of room to do these kind of things, these kind of initiatives, and this is bring the hobby to everyone else. And but this brings me to a question that people have, at least I and friends and different friends and publishers, including, have been discussing, which is the real meaning of a gateway game. Okay,
Wow.
what is a
I-
gateway game? Is I mean, I have.
yeah,
I will give you my 2 words before my two
sure.
cents about this. I see two kinds of different games, of different gateway games. Games for people who never played anything, and uh, you are trying to get them because they are your friends or because they are your family, and you need people to play with. I don't know. And for those, you probably need something like Dixit or Double, or
Yeah,
I don't know, Set or stuff like this. And gateway games from people who are curious about games and maybe they have played classic games for a long time,
yeah,
but they haven't been introduced to new games. And I would put there something like Splendor or Ticket to Ride, or Ticket to Ride. It could be in
sure.
both categories, maybe.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's more complicated than we give it credit for. So a lot of people who've never played any hobby games can be a little put off by Ticket to Ride. I think a gateway game is any game that will lead you into an interest in something. So you can have a gateway game for the whole industry, which is a game that will show you why hobby board games are different from what you've seen before and spark an interest and make you want to see more. They're a teaser that makes you want to see more. But I can also offer you a gateway game for deck building. If you've never played a deck building game, I can offer you a gateway deck builder. And if you're really excited by it, you might use that as an interest to look for more deck building games, or a gateway for worker placement, or a gateway for any of these general mechanisms we have. Um, and I've had some very unusual gateway games. I had a friend come over who had never played any hobby board games and saw my wall of games. And he said, I want to play that one. And he pointed to Terra Mystica. And I'm like, all right, it's a little complicated. And he's like, I want to learn it. It looks cool. And he loved it. And that was his gateway game. Is
wow.
and it was complicated, and it's not one I would have pulled out. But you always have to look at what people are interested in and what they might be excited about. And if they hate it, don't push it. We're not trying to force someone else to love what we love. We're trying to introduce a whole world to someone who doesn't know anything about it and get them excited.
Yeah, yeah, that is a
Uh,
that's a good advice. Good, really, really good advice. I have been playing in some with some different groups, and unfortunately, Not everybody knows that.
I know. Well, we get so excited about the games we love
Yeah,
that we want everybody else to love the one game we love. And it's
and
not always going to happen, you
no,
know?
yeah, not even not even if the game is. I mean, there are those games who look like everyone loves.
Yeah,
N- yeah, not everyone loves it.
I know.
It's just
My dirty
probably we haven't met this person who did it, who doesn't love it, but
I I don't love Ticket to Ride. Don't tell anybody, but it's fine, but I'd rather play a lot of other games. And that it seems like everybody loves Ticket to Ride. Um, I actually really liked the Legacy Ticket to Ride. I thought it was great. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would because I don't love that game generally. Um, but the Legacy was fantastic. So always give it a shot.
what other games people seem to love and you don't like it, them so much?
Oh my goodness. I a lot of the tile laying games are fine, but I don't love them. So Cascadia, Harmonies, yeah, they're fine. But
I'm with you on
I
those.
don't get involved. I think Acropolis is very good for tile laying.
Probably is nice.
But yeah, there's a lot of the entry level ones that get super love. Wingspan, I'll play. I don't love it. I think it gets better with expansions. I think Wormspan is a better game for gameplay, although Wingspan is much more beautiful. Um,
I agree.
yeah, so I don't know. There's so many games out there, and of course I'm gonna have tastes. I'm gonna have games I like more, and I'm gonna have games I like less. But I will play just about everything. I don't like party games very much, so I don't like Werewolf. I don't love Coup. I don't love Resistance.
But those are not party games. Those are social deduction games.
Social deduction games are party games where you try not to laugh as much.
Okay, I'll give you a recommendation here. It's not a perfect game because it suffers from problems with rhythm, I guess. But there is a Brazilian game that I took to Leiria 2 years ago, and your long lost brother João Jota couldn't he couldn't stop playing it. We
Wow.
we played it, we played it the first time at 5 a.m. We were like 7 or 8 people playing a game about singing. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this game is called Pablo, and it's a game where you get cards with different words. Okay, each card has a word. You have three different levels of difficulty. Okay, so these cards they have the same word in Portuguese and in English because the game comes from Brazil. So you can use only the English side. It's perfect. It's fine.
Sure.
So you have a few cards in your hands, and on your turn, what you do is try to sing a song that includes the maximum of those words.
Wow.
Okay, and while you sing that word, you play the card, and you keep going. Of course, this is a game where almost nobody knows the complete words from the song, so you don't have to start from the beginning. Or sometimes you know that the beginning of this always the beginning of the song, and there's a word that you want from there, and you know the end of the song. So in the middle you put na 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 na, and everyone will accept. Everyone will accept because it's the game. It's a party game. You are not supposed to win it, and when you there's this nice rule. You get extra points for using, I don't know how to say in English, but for using words like ha 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 or woo ho ho or uh,
Yeah.
up or wherever.
Yep. It's the English term for it is onomatopoeia.
Yeah, okay, onomatopoeia. Okay, it's similar. Okay. Yeah, so the game is like this. So there's the thing. while you were singing, other people can profit from your song and sing their words in your song, sing along with you
Wow,
during
that's
your
pretty
song.
cool.
So it's really, really, really funny. And at some point, we just didn't, we were just carrying the cards in our pocket so we could play it everywhere with every person that we could find. And it was, they asked me for the game again this year, and I had it in my car, but I was lazy and I didn't take it.
I've been there.
So it was a really really nice experience. So it's a really nice party game. It has some quiet parts because at some point you just get some words and you just know a song that has one of the words and nobody else knows any words from that song. So it kind of, you would need a reprint with a few other rules, maybe
Sure.
not many, but it's a really funny game. So it's a party game for you to try.
I'll look. I'll look for it. I already wrote it down. I noted it. I looked it up on BGG. I looked up the designer and the publisher.
And probably you know someone who knows someone
Maybe. I don't
from that
know.
team.
I mean, it's the only game that Marcus Mayora has done, and but the publishers, I don't know the publisher as well. So I will find it though.
Yeah, I have no doubts. I have faith in you. Otherwise, next Lydia, next Lydia Con, I will bring it so you
Okay.
can play. Okay. And with that, I mean, we could be here for 3 hours
I know that's
talking
part of
about
the problem.
many other subjects. Yeah, we know that very well. Um, and there are so many subjects we could be talking about when we are talking about Corey Thompson. Our Yeah, it is true. Our guest, our special guest of honor here here at the Curious Box.
That's Steven.
Uh,
He loves to be called a special guest of honor.
yeah, I know. That's why I use this, so you could make him jealous now.
Of course. I will tell him.
And thank you, Corey. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing some light thoughts. Some of them not so light, but some light conversation with us. It
No, I
was.
love it. This was really fun. Thank you so much.
Let's hope we have another chance to do it
I
somewhere
had such
in
a
the
good
future.
time at Leria. I can't imagine not going again. So it was so incredible.
Okay, so you will be waiting for you. Okay,
Okay.
I will bring you some candy.
I will take the candy.
So now Ignacy with the tea, you with the candy, and Stephen with the beer.
I have put out there that specifically I want marzipan.
You want what?
Marzipan.
Marzipan. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
I set it at some, I wanted to see if it would stick. I set it at one of the podcasts because Steven had his beer and Ignacy had his cookies. And someone gave me marzipan once, so it kind of worked.
Okay. So the three people who are going to see this video or who are seeing this video,
Oh my goodness.
don't forget. Okay, no, I forgot. Sorry, the three followers who are watching this video, because our very famous guest, he has many friends, and for sure this time we will have 10 or 15 people watching the game, watching the show.
Oh,
Thank-
I'll talk about it on BGI. So I will definitely talk about myself.
Thank you so much, Corey, and
Thank you, man.
thank you all people to for watching again this episode of the show, The Other Side of Board Games. I am Pedro Kerouac. We are here at the Curious Box. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and well, just have some fun playing games. And I guess I will be seeing you at a table close to you.
Thanks again. This was really fun.